morning, this is Melissa with thestockswoosh.com, and I'm going to do a trade review from this past week. It was CDE. Now let's just look at it. Now remember, I play professional bearish gaps, and here was this move. A student of mine actually asked me to review this play. He didn't do it, but he said, boy, you know, look at this thing. And I said, yes, there it is. Beautiful, 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 100% conviction. And the thing is, when these things start going, when they start to build momentum in them, when these bearish gaps start to build momentum, do you see how they just take over the entire chart? I mean, this is what happened here. This thing opened up here at 28.80. On any normal day, even if the stock had held and sat here in the 50 and held itself, on a normal day, the move for that then would have been $1, okay? Which is a normal day for this stock, okay? $1.50 is like a normal day for this stock. What happened? It had an abnormal day, okay? A very abnormal day where stock happens to run $6. Now, what makes this happen? The gap. The gap. And not any gap, okay? I have to be clear, not every gap in the world is good. Only what I call the golden gap is good. And this meets the criteria. This meets the criteria, and I'm not going to go over the reasons why here, but I just want to point out the strength of the power of gaps and how these things will take over the daily chart. This gap, okay, that happened the other day has changed the stock for a long time. It will not recover, okay? I can absolutely guarantee you that. In fact, let's just look at the whole thing. It's not going to recover. It tried to recover itself here, actually. Had a bullish gap up this day in the 14th. Had a chance, rallied up again, made a new high over this area. Everything's looking good and everything's looking pretty for this stock. And what happened? Boom. This gap down just demolished this chart now. And even it tried to, see, we had one green bar the day after, which you have sometimes after these things. But look at these 2 days since then. Yeah, I mean, and it went to what was the real biggest target on here on the day, which was the 200 period moving average. So you can see that once the momentum starts taking over these things, there's no stopping it. Nothing's going to stop it. There's no stopping it. Absolutely not. No can do. And even though you see on a shorter term time frame, the last 4 months the stock was in an uptrend, okay, it doesn't matter. This gap has demolished this chart. So that's why you have to know how to trade. You have to know how to recharge. You have to know how to play gaps, because some people probably thought this was a buy on this day. I know to me that's craziness, but I'm sure some people did. Some people got caught in this, and that also helps them to push this down, because the big money was selling out of this on this day, okay, or shorting this in the day, not buying it. But people that don't understand gaps think that a buy and a support, which if it would have been at this point, at some point in the day, people might have tried to buy it, or buy it as a climactic buy, or do something crazy that doesn't make any sense. Buying and support and shorting into resistance is not a strategy. I've said that over and over and over and over and over again. It is a way to help you play the stock on the day, but it is not a strategy. So do you see how what happens is the momentum starts to come into these things, and the people start to do things that don't make any sense, and they actually help the stock go down, because they keep getting stopped out when they try to buy it then. And even this bounce in here, let's see, the bottom of this tail is 22.85. It closed at 24.1. Okay, it did get a dollar bounce at the end of the day. But this is people taking profits. Let's just look at this number. Oh my, look at that number. Look at that number. The bottom of this tail is 24.10. The close of this stock on the day of the gap is 24.10. I could read charts day after day after day after day after day, and I would never cease to be amazed at the perfection of the golden gap, at the absolute perfection of these gaps that I have discovered. I will never cease to be amazed at how perfect and beautiful they are, and I will play them forever and ever and ever. They're perfect, and there isn't any other strategy out there that is perfect as this. Absolutely not. It just isn't. Look at that. If I drew the line and pretended it and imagined it myself the way that I wanted it to end the day, I couldn't have made it any more perfect. Okay? So, here's this thing. This is the play on the day. And how would you know it's going to go down to that point? Well, first of all, I said said the 50 was around 27.60, 27.50. So once you're in this thing, hold on, let me bring up the 1 minute chart. So once you're in this thing, how do you know it's going to get out of that? Well, in the first 4 minutes of the day, it actually broke, okay, that 50 period moving average on the daily chart. That's how you know it's going to get to the bigger target then, because it broke it in the first 5 minutes of the day. Then it tried to rally itself up here, could not even rally up to half the morning move it made. You see that? It couldn't even barely do it. And then it set up again and fell. And really, ever since you were in this trade then, you never suffered. You were at money as soon as you were in it, and all you had to do was just trail it down, either bar by bar or by 1 minute pivots, however you want to do it. Let's just see where it finally hit the target down here, which was 12 o'clock. No, looks like it went a little bit lower. Let's just see. It's so hard to stay in these things later and later. Noon is late for me to be in a play. It's really, really late for me to be in a play. This thing went all the way down to 1 o'clock, but I prefer to be done with things by lunch. You play it however you want to play it, but, you know, as long as the idea is to get the most of the move that you can. The idea isn't to get the entire move every single penny. The idea is to make money, be profitable, get extremely good prices on your entries, and get a momentum move, take sides in the trade, do what you do with precision and efficiency. You don't want to suffer. You want to be up money since the minute that you're in the trade, and you want to get a nice big move out of it. If you don't get the last 50 cents, if you don't get the last 30 cents, and you just had a rundown, $4 or $5, what do you want? I mean, seriously. This was a beautiful trade, and it's all was the gap. The gap is what created this. And do you know there's some people that miss this completely on the day because they don't understand that this could have worked, because they think if the day before is red, it's not going to work. That is so false. That is completely not true. That is totally, totally not true. You have to look at so many more things when you're looking at a gap, and that's why I tell people to look at 26 things. That's what I teach in my class. 26 things, that's a lot. You don't look at one, you look at 26. And that's how you get these moves. Anyways, this is Melissa with thestockswoosh.com. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at melissa@thestockswoosh.com, and have a great day.